Self-care is often a very unbeautiful thing. It is making a spreadsheet of your debt and enforcing a morning routine and cooking yourself healthy meals and no longer running from your problems and calling the distraction a solution. It is often doing the ugliest thing that you have to do, like sweat through another workout or set boundaries or figure out a way to accept yourself so that you're not constantly exhausted from trying to be everything all the time.
Good morning, everybody. What is up? I look half asleep because I am. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a really exciting vlog. I've been meaning to film this for a while, but I get kind of nervous because I really want the point of this video to be that self-care is whatever fills up your cup, but sometimes self-care is not a fun and aesthetic thing. It's not always face masks and getting your nails done. And while those things can fill up your cup and can be self-care, I just want to show you guys that sometimes self-care is doing things that are uncomfortable in the moment that you know will pay off in the long run. So I'm gonna vlog today and tomorrow because today I have the day off of work because I am actually going to the dentist and I have the morning off of work, and then I'm gonna work this afternoon, and then tomorrow I am working as well. And so I kind of wanted to show you guys what self-care looks like to me on a day off versus a day working. And yeah, I was gonna combine this with my video about healing burnout, but I think that's gonna be a whole separate video just because I have so much to say about both topics. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Carter and I talk all about getting through life in your 20s unfiltered. And I talk about things that people don't often talk about on the internet, like how self-care is often not a beautiful thing. I just got myself ready for the day. My tretinoin purge is starting and my mental state is quite fragile right now. So I feel like I really need to be very conscious and aware of my self-care and just really pouring into myself right now. So that's what we're doing. But our first self-care stop of the day, well, I have two kind of back-to-back, is I'm going to the dentist, which to some, you might be like, Carter, how is that self-care? And I hate the dentist. Don't get me wrong, I love my dentist, but I hate going to the dentist. I had a really traumatic experience at the dentist a few years ago. They did not freeze me enough and I felt my whole cavity filling, and it was the most excruciating pain of my life, and it was so traumatizing, and so I stopped going to the dentist for a while. But I know that this is how I can give my body self-care and take care of myself in the long run. And so even though it makes me really uncomfortable, I'm so anxious right now, I know that I need to do this. So I'm actually going to be getting my crown put in because I had a root canal done a few years back during the pandemic and they never put a crown on it. I don't really know why, my previous dentist. And so yeah, the tooth started breaking. And so I'm getting my crown put on today, which is a quick thing. It should only take about 30 minutes. My appointment fitting it was like super long, but this should be super quick, he said. And so yeah, this may not look like self-care to everyone, but to me, this is taking care of myself and something that makes me feel uncomfortable in the moment, but I know is worth it in the long run. I was supposed to go to an event this morning right after the dentist, and I quickly realized that I put way too much on my plate this week, and so I really need to set that boundary of having some me time and not starting the day stressed running across town to this event after. And I'm sure the event would have been so fun, and I definitely want to get out of my comfort zone more and go to more influencer events and just socialize with other creators. But today, and what I need today to fill up my own cup, is not that. And so I actually am just going to text my management company and say that I won't be going. But that is also how I'm showing myself self-care, is having that boundary and really asking myself before I go to an event or before I have anything on my calendar, am I going to feel better after this or worse? Is this going to fill up my cup in this moment? And self-care is not a one size fits all. And I don't even mean that in the sense of like everyone's self-care is different. What I mean is that your self-care might look different day to day. My self-care today versus my self-care tomorrow is not going to be the same. My self-care yesterday wasn't the same as my self-care today. The whole point is that you want to feel better, not worse, at the end of the day. So hey, if your idea of a self-care day is taking a long shower and doing a face mask and treating yourself to coffee and walking around a bookstore, like, I love that for you. But your self-care can also sometimes look different, and that's totally okay as well. The thing you guys will see that I'm actively working on in this video too is just my self-awareness with my mental health. I really do want to start journaling. I did order a journal. I thought for the longest time, I was like, well, everyone journals. Like, I don't know, I want to be my own person. I want to like stand out, but journaling isn't a bad thing. If anything, I think it's something good that's come out of social media and like TikTok and stuff, and just being very self-aware. So I did get some stuff on Amazon that's coming today, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And then tomorrow I'll walk more through like my morning routine, but today's kind of just like an on-the-go day. Let's get this over with. I did it. I survived. You can tell I have the mark on my forehead from the glass classes. I just picked up a coffee from my favorite coffee shop. Another thing that I like to do is make sure that I am calling my loved ones. I'm not the best at this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very busy person and I'm just like very introverted, but I want to be better about calling my loved ones and catching up. I feel like the only person I really FaceTime is my dad, and we FaceTime each other randomly throughout the week, like during the day. Like if he answers me, and I'll catch up with him for a few minutes because I had dinner with my mom and my siblings on Sunday, but he was gone to the hunting camp. This is your sign to call a loved one or a friend or someone and catch up today. Hi.
Hey kid, what's up?
I was just calling to say hello and
Oh, sweetheart, I love you. I'm in the meeting.
Anyways, I just called to say hi. I love you. I hope you have a great day. I don't want to interrupt your work meeting.
Likewise, I love you.
Love you, bye. All right, let's go into Indigo. I want to look and see what copies of the Game of Thrones books they have. Matt was like, it's not worth buying, but I'm like probably 20% through the first book, and there's so many things I want to highlight that are like funny, and you get so much more detail in the books. All right, we're also staying hydrated, but let's go into Indigo and have just like a little morning. We are home now. I sadly had to cancel my yoga class. I thought it was at 11 and it's at 12. So good thing I checked the app before going, and I only took the morning off of work. Like I took 8 to 12 off, and I'm just gonna work today 12 to 3:30. And so it's not really fair for me to like go to yoga from 12 to 1 because I don't really get a lunch break. I'm only working 3.5 hours today. So I'm gonna go tomorrow, which is totally fine. Fridays are actually the best day to do hot yoga at my gym because there's like a 6 a.m., a 9 a.m., a 10 a.m., and a 12 p.m. class. So they're all full right now, but typically I'll just like keep an eye on it and I'll be able to like book something at some point tomorrow. That's an update on that, which I'm totally okay with though, because I've actually been in the gym 3 times this week already, and it's only Thursday, which is kind of crazy. Very proud of myself for, so I feel like I need an active rest day. And the reason I say active rest day is because I have a dog. Like I don't have days where I don't do anything, because like on average without going to the gym I walk like 15,000 steps a day with Stella. So we're just gonna have a nice little active rest day today. But I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I picked up at Indigo. I haven't done a book haul in so long from the bookstore because I'm really trying to limit the new books that I buy in 2023 just because they're so expensive. But on occasion, I will say, and I can only speak for Indigo in Canada, that new books, they will occasionally put on like a $15 sale when they first come out, which is the exact same price as the Kindle book. And so I'd rather have the physical copy. Do you know what I mean? Typically my process for books is if it's a fiction book, I will check like Facebook Marketplace, and then I will usually put it on a list on my notes app, and then I'll look for it at the thrift store for a few months. And if I don't find it, then I might get it on my Kindle or buy the actual book. But I typically only buy physical new books for authors I really, really like, just obviously so I don't like waste my money. And then with self-help books, I find it a little bit harder to thrift them. I usually have pretty good luck on Facebook Marketplace with self-help books, but this one in particular, I had a really hard time finding the first book too. I ended up buying it at Indigo. And when given the like choice between Amazon and Indigo, I mean, yes, they are big stores, but I'd still rather support the Canadian bookstore. So I'll get it at Indigo, and I do get 10% off because I'm a Plum Plus member. So yeah, but the whole reason I went in is because I really wanted to try this deodorant. I heard Julia Havens talking about this. It's the Salt and Stone brand in the scent Santal, and it's a natural deodorant, and she said it works really, really good. I feel like Caitlin also talked about this. I could be like totally, I definitely feel like someone else talked about this deodorant. Was it Caitlin? I think it might have been. Oh my God, it smells so good. Yum. I'm really excited to try it, and I think the packaging is so cute as well. So, oh, what the heck? I'm gonna return it. It's literally, it literally just cracked. Do you guys see that? I'm gonna have to return it, or maybe not. I guess it doesn't matter, but. Okay, well, I'm gonna maybe just try and exchange the deodorant because the lid is cracked, but it smells really good. I'm really excited about it. I've been waiting for this to come out in paperback for so long. It's the final book in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, As Good as Dead. And see what I mean? $15. When I looked on Amazon to get it on my Kindle, it was $14. or $13.99 or $14.99. So like you may as well just get the physical book for the same price. So I'm really excited about this, and I wanted the paperback copy because I have the other two in paperback. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit down and update my budget. I have not filled out my budget tracker at all this month, and it is currently what, the like 16th of the month? Yeah. And I get my paycheck from AdSense on Tuesday, which is when I like my budget goes from the 22nd to the 21st of each month, because that's how I pay myself. So I really need to sit down and do that, and that to me is one of the biggest forms of self-care. Financial health is so important. Let's sit down and do that for like 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to start my work day. You guys, this literally looks so weird, but I'm just honoring my cravings, and I'm having some shredded chicken, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, and then I did some tzatziki, and then I like kind of watered it down a little bit so it'd be more of a dressing consistency, and then I just put some dill on top, and it looks so weird, but fueling my body. This is self-care, is nourishing my body and feeding it what makes it feel good. I don't know why this sounded really good for lunch, so I'm eating this. This definition of self-care is sleeping all day long. I don't know why I'm talking so quiet because nobody's home. Matt went to work out early this morning, and I got up a little bit early this morning. My alarm went off at 6:30, and I actually got out of bed at like 6:40 something, which I'll take. It's still a win. I really did not want to get out of bed this morning, especially that early, but I'll talk about this in my like waking up at 6 a.m. video that's coming, where I try like different morning routines. But I've just been waking up lately with a lot of anxiety. Like my to-do list is so packed, and I have busy work days, and I'm just not really doing myself a favor when I wake up, you know, like 30 minutes before I'm supposed to start work and just jump right into it. Like, as much as I love my sleep, it's not doing me any good, and sometimes self-care is making the harder decision. And you know, I slept like 8 hours last night. I had no reason not to get out of bed at 6:30, 6:40. And I'm so glad that I did. It was really hard when my alarm went off, but it was so worth it because I just had a really beautiful slow morning. And you know, this morning self-care looked like putting on an eye mask and rolling my face and just reading. I love reading when it's like still dark out and have like a lamp on, and it was snowing this morning, so I had the curtains open, and it was just like, you know, obviously seeing the sun come up, it's just so beautiful, and it just fills my cup up so much. I did that. I did a little 5-minute meditation, and now the sun has come up. It's about 7:30. The only good thing about snowy days is it's really bright really early in the morning because of the snow, obviously. And yeah, I'm going to journal for a little bit. I originally was gonna book hot yoga this morning, and I'm still gonna try and go, but our IKEA furniture, which we just got a new bed from IKEA, is out for delivery between 9 and 1, and the hot yoga class I wanted to go to was either like 9:30, 10:45, or 12. So if my furniture comes before 12, I'm hoping to do the lunchtime one, and if not, maybe we'll just do like a little yoga at home or something just to move my body. I'm not feeling 100%. Like, I don't feel sick, I just kind of feel run down, honestly, so we'll kind of see where the day takes us. Yeah, I only have one work meeting today, and it's with my boss, and I'll talk about that after because I really want to talk more about like having self-care in like the workplace and on work days and stuff. But that's what's going on. I made my coffee. We're out of milk, so I had to use macadamia nut milk, which Matt loves. He uses that every day, and it's not bad. I'm just like such a dairy gal. And my zit is finally starting to go away a little bit, which is great. I'm so happy about that. I feel like slow mornings are just like my favorite thing in the world. Like, I just feel so content right now. I'm feeling so good after yesterday. We had like such, I mean, the thing is like our night routine is like very typical. I say this all the time, but like, you know, we had a really yummy dinner. We had pulled pork sandwiches with a big salad, and it just felt so good. I had a little mocktail. Well, is it a mocktail if it has weed in it? I don't know. A pot tail. And then, you know, we watched Game of Thrones for a few hours, went to bed nice and early. I just feel like having a relaxing night routine is really like one of the ways I show myself self-love and self-care, honestly. Nice and slow. I never work out at night. I just love a good slow night and then a good slow morning. Oh, it just makes me feel so good. Like, I feel so zen and at peace right now. The morning combo that I've been really loving, which is journaling, a chapter of a nonfiction book, and then I've been doing a little reading, whichever fiction book I'm reading. And I feel like everything I talked about today or journaled about, I think that everything I read about today or journaled about was just so relevant. So for example, today's journal prompt, which, guys, this is the cutest journal ever. It's so cute. It says do it for yourself. I got it on Amazon. Today's journal prompt was, when was the last time you bounded out of bed excited for your day? How can you recreate that feeling today? And I loved that because it was kind of like, for me, the last time I was really excited about a day was when I have like a me day. I feel like when I have like my me days or like my days with myself is when I'm the most excited to get out of bed, which is, you know, nothing crazy. I'm usually vlogging it, which I love vlogging. I look forward to vlogging all the time. Having a coffee, a slow morning, lots of reading and thrifting. And then how can I recreate that today? Kind of how we talked about earlier was just like romanticizing those slow, snowy mornings, cozying up to read, and having a warm coffee. So I really liked that. I mean, I'm sure the 5-minute journal is great, but I just get tired of the same prompts every day. Liked this because it was a little different. I actually read a few chapters just because I was starting it. But it was all about being proud of yourself. And I loved that so much, and I feel like it started my day off just feeling very like motivated. And it was talking about how healthy pride often gets confused with narcissism, and so if you're proud of yourself, you kind of fear that you will be like disliked or that you'll be told to take it down a notch. If you don't analyze and take pride in what you did right, you will not know how to get there again, nor will you have the enthusiasm to keep trying. Deliberately pausing to feel delight encourages more growth. You can't minimize the fact that your change had a huge impact for the better. Like, starting the day off with a little bit of like a self-help or nonfiction book. You guys know I'm really picky. I find like all self-help books, pretty much like 90% of them are just so cheesy and the same stuff. So I'm really picky with my nonfiction books, but that just like really got me thinking, and I really like that. I feel like it's really good to reflect and be self-aware. Fire and Blood here, I keep it downstairs because I typically read that in the mornings, but I started 3 Days Missing by Kimberly Bell, so I just read a chapter of that. I'm trying to make my way through my Kindle like library. I have so many books on there, so reading this so far and really liking it. It's about to be 8 o'clock, so I am going to head upstairs and start my day. One thing I've really noticed is that when I have slow mornings, I'm not anxious going into my workday because I'm not rushing. So I feel really good and I feel like ready to work. So let's do it. Hi guys, hello. It's a few hours later, it's 2:15. It's so sunny out, as you can tell. So I've just been working here in the dining room, which I try not to do often, but it's just so beautiful and sunny. And this is where all the light comes in the afternoon. So I said, why not? Just made myself a little afternoon tea. Trying to show my body some more love by not putting as much caffeine into it. And honestly, some days I do have 2 coffees. I'm not gonna lie, you guys know that. You see my everyday life, but I've realized that I can run on 1 coffee, especially when I wait and don't have it first thing in the morning. So I'm having this, what is this? This is like the throat rescue tea, but I just like it. It's like echinacea, is that how you say it? Echinacea? I don't freaking know, and lemon. I've just been so busy with work today because I only worked a half day yesterday and Monday is a holiday. So I've just been grinding my little booty away, of course, like taking breaks and whatnot, but that is what's going on. And it stopped snowing, which is great. I think we're gonna go to the dog park after work like we did yesterday. That's my update, but I wanted to share with you guys. So something that I brought up today in my one-on-one with my manager, which he is just, I say this all the time, I'm like his biggest fan, he's the best, is how I felt like there was being too much put on my plate. And something I'm really learning is boundaries in the workplace and speaking up. And I think part of it does have to do with having a leader that you feel comfortable opening up with. But that was kind of like the main thing I wanted to talk about in our one-on-one today. And I'm really glad I did. I feel like communicating doesn't always feel good. It's not always easy. I always tell myself that even if communicating is scary and like speaking up for yourself and standing up for yourself is scary, it should always be viewed as a win no matter how the other person receives it, because at the end of the day, you honored what was important to you, if that makes sense. Giving your needs permission to take up space will feel like an uncomfortable thing. It's not a comfortable thing. Like I said, self-care is not always beautiful. This was how I showed myself self-care today, was speaking up for my boundaries. One thing my therapist taught me was that uncomfortable doesn't mean bad. It just means that something is foreign. And advocating for yourself and your needs isn't bad. It's just something that we're probably not used to doing, right? The point is to not change the other person's behavior or convince them to see things differently. It's just advocating for yourself no matter how they take it. Just a lot being put on my plate. And I think something in the corporate world that we need to break the cycle of is that when you do something good, the reward should not just be more work. Like, oh, I heard that this conference went really well. Well, can you plan like XYZ other ones, right? Like, I was really nervous to speak up because I don't want it to come from a place of laziness, like, oh, I don't want to do this work. It's just like, there's just too much going on right now and I can't prioritize it if everything is a priority. And I think this kind of comes back to my point of this video, is that yes, self-care can be face masks and drinking water and doing all those great things. Those are so important, but a lot of self-care is mental and setting boundaries and going to therapy and communicating with your partner and becoming more self-aware. I just want the point of this video to be that there are so many forms of self-care that we as a society don't talk about, and sometimes we romanticize self-care, which, don't get me wrong, we should all practice self-care. I'm all about romanticizing your life, but once again, I just want to show you guys that self-care comes in multiple forms. I'm really proud of myself for that. And I didn't really set many other goals for the day because I wanted that to kind of be my priority. So I'm really, really happy about that. It was very well received, which that isn't always the case, but I do know that I can kind of confide in my manager and that he will respect anything I say. So that was great, but the workday is almost done. And yeah, I took about a 30-minute lunch break and took Sel for a walk, made a quick lunch with whatever was in the fridge, cleaned out the fridge, that kind of stuff, and our new bed got delivered, which is so exciting. We'll probably watch Game of Thrones all night. Like I said, we have a very structured, chill night routine. We're not like going out kind of people, especially in this economy. That's what we're gonna do. It's what makes me happy, and it's honestly what fills my cup up. And it's a nice long weekend, which means I get an extra day to spend with Matt, which I'm so grateful for. And yeah, but I'm so excited to be done work and spend some time outside in this, or some more time. I've already been outside, but spend some more time in the sun. Hope you guys enjoyed that little pep talk. Maybe it reminded you to stand up for yourself and communicate your boundaries, no matter how they're perceived on the other side.